A smart guy. That's why this all has been so weird and frustrating. He does seem like a nice guy to a lot of people. Sure, he's clearly got this darker side where he wants to have control of his projects, but in a weird way, with Deadpool, the way he took over Deadpool.
Just 3 weeks ago, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were the golden couple of Hollywood, charming audiences on every talk show while promoting their projects. Their perfect image was everywhere. Matching outfits, inside jokes, and those signature loving glances that made fans swoon. But something changed. Industry insiders started whispering. Suddenly, interview questions were being restricted, public appearances became shorter and more controlled. And now the truth behind this PR tour is spilling out in ways Marvel never anticipated. The story of what happened behind closed doors will completely change how you see this power couple, and the studio desperately trying to control their narrative.
He does seem like a smart guy. I'm not gonna lie. He does seem like a smart guy. That's why this all has been so weird and frustrating. He does seem like a nice guy to a lot of people. Sure, he's clearly got this darker side where he wants to have control of his projects, but in a weird way, with Deadpool, the way he took over Deadpool, I kind of understand where he went, and it seems like he did make amends with Tim Miller, from what I've gathered. So I'm not on the hate Ryan Reynolds train like everybody else, because he may being fed something else. He may, when he took over Deadpool, that really was his character, his voice. Like, he has to own that. Now, I think he could have treated Tim Miller better, of course. I think Tim Miller would admit that as well. But from what I've gathered, Tim Miller is apparently good with all of it. Tim Miller doesn't want to be involved in any of this nonsense, and Tim Miller's not jumping up and down, jumping on saying that, yes, let's torch Ryan Reynolds. Look what he did to me. So I'm not as mad at him. I know everybody else is, and you guys can be, but I'm still hung up on this idea of, like, why is he buying this? Why is he allowed to go? Now, she's the mother of his children. So yeah, that's a fair reason. He's in love with her. They've been together for quite some time. They are seemingly committed to their things. They talk all the time, yada, yada, yada. He is a loyal guy, apparently, unless you're shooting Green Lantern and you're with Scarlett Johansson. But aside from all that, the rumors even there were that she didn't want to have kids, and he did. And so, look, is Ryan Reynolds really that stupid? This is the question I'm asking you. Hate whoever you want. I don't think we should hate anybody. We should all be nicer to each other. But do you really think Ryan Reynolds is that stupid to keep this going and have supported this as long as he has without some sort of smoking gun? Are you, at any of you, humoring or accepting the fact that maybe there is? Because if there isn't, it's like, wow.
Just 3 weeks ago, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds ruled Hollywood as its most untouchable power couple. They were everywhere, making us laugh on talk shows, stunning us on red carpets, and creating viral moment after viral moment. But was all that perfection just a carefully constructed illusion? Let's look at what we saw. Their early PR tour appearances were meticulously planned down to the smallest detail. Remember when they showed up to that first Deadpool premiere? The matching outfits weren't an accident. Their coordinated navy blue ensemble screamed "United Front," while still letting their styles shine. And those well-timed jokes, the way Ryan would set up the punchline and Blake would deliver it, weren't spontaneous. They were rehearsed perfection. Their signature loving glances became almost a trademark. You know the ones. Ryan looking at Blake with those puppy dog eyes, and she'd return that knowing smile. Those moments made fans melt online. The comment sections are filled with relationship goals and heart emojis every single time. It was relationship marketing at its finest. Media outlets couldn't get enough of them. Entertainment Tonight called them Hollywood's most authentic couple. People magazine ran that spread titled The Real Deal, inside Blake and Ryan's genuine connection. Even the more cynical industry publications praised their chemistry as refreshingly authentic in an era of manufactured celebrity relationships. The numbers don't lie. Their social media engagement was through the roof. That TikTok of them finishing each other's sentences hit 15 million views in just 2 days. The hashtag #MyBlakeAndRyan trended worldwide for 72 straight hours after their Good Morning America appearance. Their Instagram posts showing behind-the-scenes glimpses of their tour life gathered more comments and shares than any other celebrity couple this year. Their dual promotion strategy seemed like marketing genius at first. Blake pushing "It Ends With Us" while Ryan promoted Deadpool and Wolverine, which should have been awkward, but they turned it into a strength. They joked about competing for box office numbers at home, playfully pretended to sabotage each other's interviews, and fans ate it up, creating memes and compilation videos celebrating their competitive spirit. But if you look closer at those later appearances, the cracks were already forming. Did you catch that moment on The Tonight Show when Jimmy Fallon asked about their competing release dates? Blake laughed a little too loudly, while Ryan's smile never quite reached his eyes. Or that red carpet moment when her hand slipped away from his just as the cameras clicked. Most viewers missed these tiny signals, but they were there. How did this perfect PR tour suddenly spiral into Hollywood's biggest disaster? The warning signs were hiding in plain sight. That awkward pause during the MTV interview when the host asked if they brought work stress home. The way Ryan cut Blake off mid-sentence during their joint Vanity Fair sit-down. The increasing distance between them in each subsequent photo op. But while fans were busy being charmed by the polished performances, industry insiders were starting to notice something wasn't quite right. The whispers began at the New York premiere after-party. Something was happening behind that picture-perfect facade. And Marvel executives were getting nervous.
How did it get this far? How did Ryan and Blake get it this far? Now, from Blake's perspective, I can understand it. The more we're seeing, and last night as we watched that full Forbes interview, learning more about Blake, her mother, the way she is, the entitlement and selfishness and demands she needs to have in order to have authority. It doesn't surprise me that she has spun this narrative in her favor. But Ryan, could he be someone who's actually, a pawn in this and not really realizing the extent of it? I want to play this clip from the Dumas podcast with Dana Bowling, who was on the show. Listen to this.
He just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist.
Deadpool 3 wrapped on January 24th, 2024. That film wrapped before It Ends With Us even concluded filming. Meaning, they filmed all of those nice pool scenes way early on. So they have been hating Baldoni for so long.
Oh. Now that's important to recall. She's right, because the wrapping was there. Basically, the beginning of It Ends With Us would have happened during Nice Pool before. And then, so basically, prepping with Justin, those first, 7 days, it wasn't that long, of shooting happened. And then while they're shooting Deadpool, he added in those bits to sort of make fun of Justin. So yeah, the hate for Justin was very evident from the beginning.
People were picking apart the text messages, like, she's flirting with him, like, look what she's saying to him. But was she just being passive aggressive? Because behind the scenes, Ryan was writing these lines for Deadpool. Does she have a smoking gun that we just haven't seen yet?
This is what I hear is coming down. She's coming out with an amended complaint on Friday. The only reason I think that they don't
that got delayed.
Have this big smoking gun is because why wouldn't they present that day one?
That's what because I paused. She's making a good point. Why wouldn't they have had that since day one? Agreed. That's what we all have said. Why wouldn't you put it all out? You put everything else in there. You picked and chose your text. You did all this stuff. Why would you hold on to more is the question. Now, some would say, well, because you want Justin to play all his cards and then have one more ace up your sleeve.
While fans were still posting heart emojis, Marvel executives were already panicking behind closed doors. What happens when a billion-dollar studio loses control of its biggest stars? Complete chaos. I've obtained internal emails showing just how worried Marvel became as the tour started going off the rails. One message from a senior marketing executive to the PR team read, "Our situation escalating. Need immediate containment strategy." Another from the head of publicity warned, "BL comments on set dynamics, creating unwanted attention. Implement Protocol 7. Protocol 7, it turns out, is Marvel's crisis management playbook. By week 2 of the tour, Marvel started restricting interview questions with an iron fist. Entertainment Tonight producers told me they received a list of forbidden topics just 30 minutes before the scheduled sit-down. The list included anything about on-set relationships, Ryan's interactions with crew members, and most tellingly, any mention of the term nice pool, their internal code name for the growing controversy. The studio didn't stop there. They implemented strict new media protocols halfway through the tour. No more unscheduled questions, no more fan interactions without pre-screening, and no more solo interviews with either star. A source from Ryan's management team confirmed Marvel even insisted on having a studio rep physically present during all remaining press appearances. A leaked memo from an emergency executive meeting lays it all bare. Dated just 3 weeks ago, it shows Marvel's top brass gathered to discuss what they called the nice pool situation. The document includes talking points about protecting the franchise's family appeal and containing narrative divergence between the stars. Marvel's PR team worked overtime trying to redirect media attention. They suddenly pushed out 3 major casting announcements for future projects. Behind-the-scenes footage, carefully edited to show only positive interactions. They even launched a TikTok challenge to get fans focused on something else entirely. The difference between early and later interviews is striking. Compare their relaxed Jimmy Kimmel appearance from the tour's first week, with 15 minutes of free-flowing conversation and physical contact between the couple, to their tense, controlled Good Morning America segment just days ago. 6 minutes pre-recorded, with the couple sitting noticeably apart and a Marvel rep visible just off camera. Then came the unexplained cancellations. The couple was set to appear on The View, The Kelly Clarkson Show, and a major streaming platform special. All 3 appearances vanished from schedules without explanation. A producer from one show told me off the record, "We were told they were unavailable due to scheduling conflicts, but everyone knows that's Hollywood code for there's a problem." The tension spread beyond public view. A staff member at the couple's management agency described heated phone calls between Marvel executives and the star's representatives. The screaming was so loud it carried through walls, they revealed. One call ended with someone saying, "Then keep him away from live mics entirely." Why are Marvel executives working so desperately to keep these stars from going off script? Because they fear the nice pool controversy could seriously damage the franchise's family-friendly image. The contrast between Ryan's charming public persona and what happens when cameras stop rolling has become the studio's biggest nightmare. But controlling the narrative became even harder when backstage footage revealed what was happening once the lights went out.
Oh, but the thing is, I don't feel like that word is a light word to use, especially in Hollywood, in a post-Weinstein world, right? Like, this is huge. It's very, very damning. And
well, not to interrupt you, but he takes away sexual. Notice that? He keeps using the word predator, but not using the actual apparent word, which was sexual predator, which is way more charged and way more specific. And I see you, Ryan, I see you trying to legally ease your way out, but you didn't keep repeating the word sexual predator, which does have connotations, Kim. You're spot on.
Mm-hmm. And the next part that we highlighted was, it is in essence a burn book filled with grievances attempting to shame Mr. Reynolds for being the kind of man who is confident enough to listen to the woman in his life and hold her anguish and actually stand with her.
I find this whole thing despicable. I mean, look, as you said in the beginning, he's allowed to stand by his wife. But to do it, I don't know, he's just such a simp. To do it this loudly when so much evidence has come forward, Kim, that clearly puts it into more of a he said, she said than they want to admit. And that's just the reality of this. Clearly, Blake's emotions were also hurt. Clearly, Blake's thin skin was also affected, Ryan. So for you to triple down in this way, so aggressive, only, to me, confirms Justin's accusation that you're a bully. And some of my friends will notice I've been trying to be nicer to Ryan and give him that benefit, Kim. You know, like I'm hoping it's that silver lining. But this is just the same thing of demanding it like you write the apology, which later he admits to, basically admits to all of it, guys. This whole thing admits, so what if I did this? I'm allowed. I'm okay to do it. All of it pretty much admits to the things we've heard, which is kind of terrifying. And it shows him as the loud, aggressive bully that Justin's claiming.
It's tough. And the problem is for me that I look at this paragraph and I go, how is it that there's criticism just a couple paragraphs up about the complaints being written for an audience outside of the court, and then here you're literally making a Mean Girls reference?
He's got to do a Deadpool reference even in his thing here. Did you notice that, kid? He's got to have some pop culture references. That's such a tell that he wrote this. No lawyer wrote.
And just like that, The glossy facade of Hollywood's most beloved couple began to fracture in front of millions. Only this time, the cameras weren't in control. What started as a picture-perfect PR tour spiraled into a high-stakes crisis that even Marvel's most powerful executives couldn't contain. Now, with leaked memos, whispered scandals, and growing unrest behind the scenes, the question isn't what happened. It's how much longer can they keep the truth buried? The nice pool operation may have been designed to distract you, but now you know the code. So, what really caused Hollywood's golden duo to unravel? What secrets are still being protected behind Marvel's billion-dollar silence? Trust me, we're only scratching the surface. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because in the next video, we're diving deep into the leaked footage Marvel never wanted the public to see. The truth is coming. And it's messier than anyone imagined.